Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Overgrowth. So recently, for no particular reason, I've been on a bit of a Moon Knight kick. He is one of my favorite superheroes, and I've just been reading a shit ton. I've been playing him in Marvel Rivals. I got Lord on Moon Knight and Marvel Rivals. Can you guys clap for me? I feel like I deserve some clapping for my Marvel. And as somebody who can safely say that they've experienced and read and watched and played a lot of Moon Knight content, I do think that he has never had a bad design in his tenure. This is a rare case where I think almost every single iteration of this character looks fucking clean as hell, and I just kind of wanted to go over them all. I know as soon as I said that Moon Knight has never had a bad design, there's probably some jackass in the comments being like, oh, well, in Moon Knight 45, he shows up in a costume and it looks like shit and he's called Poop Knight. I'm just speaking on a general level. I don't think that this man has ever had a bad design. His designs are so goated that my voice cracked. And so overall, I wanted to go over how just perfect every single Moon Knight design is in general. I'm going to split it into three categories. Those three categories being comics, TV show, and game. And just like a full-on disclaimer. For those of you who are looking for like an intricate, like, oh my god, Moon Knight is so perfect going through every single thing that he's ever been in, that's not what this video is. It's more so just somebody who knows a lot but still doesn't know the intricacies of shit. I'm just pointing out shit that I think looks cool.
Hey, let's party up. All I wanna do is have a good time.
Alright, so for comics, I would say that Moon Knight has three main designs. Starting off with the first one, we have the iconic, just pure white suit. And this suit is fucking great. It's a great way to start your character. I love the way it looks in the Lemire run, where it's just got this like very like soft, kind of like sketchy vibe to it. A big detail that I really like about this suit when certain artists draw it is that the hood kind of creates the this just black effect, so there's pure blackness in where his head should be. Sometimes they just color his head as black, like every single aspect of his body is white except for that black head, which I also think looks really cool. I think a key reason as to why Moon Knight always looks so good is because when you're working with a pure white character, you kind of have to do good shading, otherwise it'll look a bit cheap and lazy. So he's always just shrouded in blackness and like the white is shining off him, and I think that is so fucking cool looking. But moving on from his white design, we have the white and black design, where the white is more so armor that's covering this black like undercoat, and this is a fucking great look, man. I love the way the cape just kind of always has a backdrop for this like just pure black design. I love the way that it's plated in some of the runs. I think it looks really, really great when we're in the Midnight Mission stuff. In the McKay / Midnight Mission run, it's just drawn in such a violent way with these violent like black streaks that are always like going down. And I just think that looks so fucking cool. Also, every time a comic draws Moon Knight with bright blue eyes, they get bonus points from me because I love the way it looks. And then moving on to the final design, we have Mr. Knight, which obviously, I don't need to tell you, looks sick as fuck in every instance. The pure white suit, along with all the fucking great shaders that they use for it, just looks fucking amazing all the time. I love the way that this suit looks in basically every run that it's in. Also, one detail that I did start to notice on the regular Moon Knight suit, but is very, very much prevalent in the Mr. Knight suit, is that when these dark shaders are hitting his face, which is often, again, the moon at the top of his head always stays unshaded, and I just think that is such a fucking great detail. I love this design so much. Also a bit random, but I like when they add this glow around him. I just think that looks really great, and it kind of works in the character's favor. Moon Knight's reason as to why he dresses white is because he wants the enemies to see him coming, which is like one of the only detriments I can think of against the black and white suit, because it minimizes the amount of white. But yeah, I like when they draw the glow around him for both lore reasons and because it looks fucking awesome.
So fly in this bitch, 50 on me, don't die trying and shit.
All right, moving on to the MCU. Now, A lot of people's biggest complaints with the MCU when they redesign their superhero costumes is that they look over-designed, which, granted, is a reasonable complaint to make for a lot of them. They throw on all these, like, fucking insignificant lines that just don't need to be there for texture, but always just end up making the character look worse. But I think Moon Knight is a great example of when the over-design works incredibly well. Now, say what you want about the Moon Knight show, I actually think it was kind of good, low-key. You cannot deny that this costume, this redesign, is sick as fuck. For a version of the character that is a lot more tied to the Egyptian lore side of things, I think that this mummy-wrapped bandage look is fucking impeccable. I love how on the chest plate you can see the literal gold armor like showing through the wrap of the bandages. I love that you can see that the moon crescent throwing darts are tied to his chest. I love the writing, the hieroglyphics on the legs. It looks fucking great. I love that he has gold accents, which is something that we don't usually see on a Moon Knight. I think my biggest complaint with this suit is just that it's more gray than it is white, which I think, again, for a version of the character that's not really focused on the same things that the comic counterpart is focused on is fine, but I would appreciate it if it was a little bit brighter, but I get it. It's meant to mirror mummies and shit. It does lose sauce points for the eyes not being bright blue, though. But then we get on to probably my favorite MCU redesign of a costume ever, Mr. Knight. I genuinely cannot think of a single thing that this doesn't do better than the comics. And that's not to say the comics is bad at all. This is just impressive. They took something incredibly simple, something that they could have just easily translated into live action, just a simple plain white suit, and they made it something so good. For this version of the character, I think that this is genuinely such an incredible display of redesign. Look, I can't word. I love the design of the jacket over the vest. I love the design of the vest itself. Every single thing is it just has these little details that really just tie it together. I can't find good images of this suit on Google, so I'm just gonna have to pull up the Fortnite model. I love the inside, the rim of the suit, where it's kind of like the collar. I don't fucking know what it's called. I love that that's a different texture to the suit itself. And dude, the scar on the face is fucking great looking. I don't know whose idea what that was, but give them fucking 8 billion raises. And of course, the bandage wrapped loafers. Fire. 10 out of 10 fit. Also, I'm never gonna get the chance to mention this in a video again, so there's this like one scene in the last episode of Moon Knight where he's fighting Arthur Harrow, and then he like, that scene is that was like plus 10 aura.
Poop Knight. Moon Knight, if he was like poop and his poop shoe, the poop haunts you.
And finally, moving on, we have Game, which is going over one game. I know he was in like Spider-Man Web of Shadows or whatever, but that doesn't count. I don't know that guy. This is another instance of over-designed Moon Knight working really well. I like the black spots on the cape and whatnot. You can very much tell that this is based off of the black and white version of the suit. I love the glow of the moon on his chest. I love that he has the glowing blue eyes. I like that these like weird, like almost Jason-esque like hockey mask holes in his mask. I like that you can tell that these things on the shoulders are cameras. Also really weird, but I like the way he runs in game. I just think it looks cool. And then we have their Mr. Knight, which I think looks fucking great. They're taking both aspects from the comic book version and the MCU version, and they're throwing in a little bit of themselves. So we have the scar from the MCU version, which is amazing. I love the way this moon looks. Usually it's very circular, but they go for a more angular moon here, which I think looks great. I love the way that the gold looks here. I'm pretty sure his tie is meant to be the scarab from Moon Knight, if I'm not mistaken, but I might be just kind of making things up as I go. I love the gold tip loafers. I think the gray vest is a very interesting design choice, and I think it works super well. It looks amazing. The only thing I wasn't nuts about in the beginning was the cape, which it's something that has to be there for gameplay purposes, but I just kind of wish that they threw on the vest instead. But I've gotten more than used to it at this point. I think it looks good. And also really random, I like when they draw his gloves with like this little back hole in them. And him having black gloves is very interesting to me because I'm a because I'm a very boring person. Also, just as an aside, I'm not talking about any of the other skins in Marvel Rivals. I only wanted to talk about the base Moon Knight designs, but the blood one looks pretty sick. The gold one looks pretty sick. The Chinese one looks pretty sick, but if you didn't tell me that it was a Moon Knight skin, I wouldn't have guessed. Yeah, I guess I should have just mentioned those really quickly. And I believe that is about it for Moon Knight designs. I know that this is kind of a weird video, but I just wanted to talk about some shit that I really give a fuck about. And yeah, my heart led me here. I mean, that's kind of it. Adios.